Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to today's Esoteric Influences for the 17th day of July, 2020. Well, I hope everybody got to get outside last night. We had the space station above again. I got to take a video of it and a picture of it. It's so cool to see that thing up there. It's so bright. And it doesn't go super fast, but it goes fast enough. You just watch it, go across. It's the coolest thing ever. There's just so many celestial types of events that are happening with the comet that's still out there, and again, I'm not sure how much longer it's going to be there, but probably at least another week, I would think. Um, but I've not been able to find that graphic, so I'm not really sure. I need to Google it though and find out, instead of just saying, "Oh, it'll be there a little while longer." But it's just cool to be able to see it and to see Jupiter and Saturn so bright up there. You just feel surrounded by all this astral energy, and it just seems to be focused on getting us all to rethink everything. We've got a bunch of planets. There's like 7 of them in retrograde right now. If you go to the correspondences and astrological information that I post most days, you'll see them. You can really look at any of them, any of the current ones. It'll show all of them. One that I don't mention is Vulcan. And when Vulcan's in retrograde, Vulcan's about, destruction anyway of old beliefs and all of that. But really, when it's in retrograde, you're really looking inward and really reassessing everything that you believe and how you see things and all of that. And that's really the theme behind all of this. You're just coming at it from different angles, really. Saturn is about, looking at how we deal with limitation. And Jupiter, normally the big expansive planet, it's about inner expansion. And so, today's, again, you're looking at the same thing with the human design stuff today with the channel of awareness still active because it's telling us, to allow higher self to inform the whole thing. And so that's quite transformative when you do that. In other words, letting the voice of spirit inform versus the voice of ego. And it just seems like that's the shift we all need to, shifting our perception, shameless book plug, over to a more higher self vision instead of one that is constantly about me, and it's all about me and my own personal sovereignty. And sometimes you've got to understand that there's a collective involved, and we need to be able to shift to that when it's appropriate to do so. So, in any event, today we have an 8 energy for the day, again a 7 for the month, and a 22 for the year. Matters of leadership could come up today, or at least a sense of responsibility is felt regarding practical matters that affect the collective, particularly issues of justice. Consider that there may be greater forces at work seeking to destabilize and thereby control the current situation. I noticed that, and I don't know if it was just coming out yesterday, if it started the day before, but there seems to be something happening in Portland that is weird. You've got these guys dressed in military garb, supposedly federal officers, but no identifying insignias on anything. They're grabbing protesters off the street and I guess putting them into minivans and absconding with them. Well, no one knows what this is about. The mayor doesn't know. The governor doesn't know. No one's told them anything. And you can't really do that in a city, right? So they're trying to figure out what the heck's going on. So that's something I know that's going on. I mean, not locally for me, but in my state at least. I don't live in Portland, so. But I attended Portland State. I graduated from Portland State, and I can just tell you, it wasn't like this. The Blazers won the world championship thing that year, and one of the years I was there, and I mean, you had Broadway was just filled with people as they did the parade. That was Portland. Portland was a hippie place. It was progressive. It was all about women's rights and individual rights, and it was just, I don't know, it was just a cool place to be. And I don't even know what it is now. And it's just hopefully it's not, infiltrating everything, but it's kind of down. This stuff's happening down at my old stomping grounds, and it's just odd to see how things have changed, and this weird stuff is happening now. But in any event, Ansus is the rune for today, the fourth rune of the Elder Futhark. Again, it's Laguz twice, so the flow of spirit. So we're going to hear the voice of spirit and the message that it brings, giving no purchase to the ego's influence. Remain on a healing path and be transformed. Ansus is an air element rune, and really, I guess that's what I'm really talking about here, is the weird expectations and the weird measures of control and the lack of communication that goes on. And realistically, that's just a massive expression of ego. And instead of that, what Ansus is suggesting again and reinforcing is the need to hear the voice of spirit here. It's known as Odin's rune, a divine message, spirit communication, eloquence, creation, higher self, divinity, and clarity. And I think that that's what we're all struggling for right now, is to understand what's going on, whether it's about the virus or the protests that continue over Black Lives Matter and other issues of justice that people are concerned about. It just seems like it's all balled up into this massive effort to try to shift things away from an ego-centered experience, because that's what the whole policing issue is. It's ego-centered. And I don't know where it became us versus them, but it has. And this shouldn't be that way. And so, again, allowing Ansus to bless you today with eloquence and spirit, a higher self level of awareness and understanding, that's what you want to do today. Gemini is still the placement of the moon today, so allow your curiosity to take you in new directions. However, avoid scattered thinking that can thwart any progress you might make. The semi-square from yesterday between the moon and Black Moon Lilith becomes a sextile today, so keep your head about you. Lilith won't appreciate it, but, that's her problem. Control the inner wild child today, again, and allow for a greater understanding to take hold. Regarding the human design section of the esoteric influences for today, the channel of awareness is still active. Again, letting that higher self message come through. Indifference to the needs of others has proven detrimental, and after careful planning, now is the time for action. A greater understanding has been achieved and the path forward is more clear. Know that unstable forces are still impacting the outcome, however, and will at every turn attempt to thwart progress. Although limitation will continue to be experienced, it helps us to stay the course through the challenges that lie ahead. No matter what it is we're talking about, whether it's the justice issues surrounding Black Lives Matter and the attack on people of color by police, there just seems to be this unrestrained energy that's going on with no filter, with no sense of grounding, with no sense or care, and I guess indifference is the real word, for the outcome and the harm that they do. It's not just in policing, it's everywhere now. If you want someone to wear a mask, you cannot say that because you're likely going to be physically attacked or at least verbally attacked. It's not going to be a good experience for anyone. And yet, as stores begin to say, no, this is what's going to happen, as states do it, you see recall petitions then for a governor that wants everybody to be in a mask when they go out and about. It's like this whole weird thing that seems to want to push us into disaster, really. That's what I mean by detrimental, the indifference to all of us being, it's become detrimental to our very survival. Watching the administration do everything the opposite of what they should do to try to preserve life. Yeah, let's just send the kids back to school. Well, what happens in September when that happens? Well, everybody gets sick. Only this time it's going to be with COVID. And so our kids are it's okay to sacrifice our children for this? Well, the old people didn't want to cooperate with you. Why would you think that any of the parents would allow their children to? We're not going to cooperate with this. And those people who do, oh my Lord. I mean, it really is separating out the wheat from the chaff here. And to understand who is in the cult and who isn't. You know, to watch Georgia's governor now suing, I mean, I Googled it just to be sure, but Mayor Bottoms tested positive for COVID. And now he's suing her to lift the ban or to lift the ban or to lift the mask wearing requirement. He's issued a ban on all of it. What does he want? Does he want the people of Georgia to die? Is that what he wants? Does he want the hospitals to be so over? What's going on here? You know, seriously, what's going on that these people can't see it? You get reports of people who are dying. They're about to be put on a vent. And they look at their caregiver there in the hospital and say, I didn't pay, I thought it was a hoax. And I mean, they're terrified. Their families can't be with them. They know what could happen here. And if it doesn't, you know, in what shape will they be when they leave the hospital? If the worst doesn't happen for them. But they're terrified, and rightly so. You know, people were duped that believed these guys, that didn't want to believe the science. They've been duped into believing it's a hoax to detrimental effect. And now we're all in this position of having to look at one another. People that don't want to wear a mask around you, you want to look at them and say, well, why are you doing that? I mean, it's really getting down to that. It's like, are we going to get out of this or not? Someone else just said yesterday that if we just would do this for 2 months, all of us, don't go anywhere without wearing a mask. If we could just do that, we would quash this. It just needs a place to go. If you wear a mask, it doesn't go anywhere. Or maybe just right out in front of you. If you're apart from one another, you really do protect everybody. If we could do that for 2 months, for 8 weeks, things might look a whole lot different. But if we aren't even going to try, if you're going to have a significant number of people that won't even try, well, I don't know. I don't know what that's about. I really don't. Other than it just feels like a cult response. But I'll guarantee you, these governors that want to prohibit a mask ordinance, well, you're killing your people. There'll be no place for you at the table when all is said and done. Whatever you think this is going to get you within the Republican Party, there won't be one left. So that's the way they always were, and we all missed it. Well, we better wake up, huh? But if this is just a segment of them, I don't know, that somehow managed to get into power, and the rest of them are scratching their heads going, oh my God, well, you know what to do in November, don't you? You know what to do to put pressure on your people there now. Do it for everyone. So anyway, that's enough. We'll talk tomorrow. Thanks so much for stopping by. Again, this will go up on the blog, both in written form and in video form. They're on the left side panel. So the new ones will come out. So the new version will come out in the newsletter on Sunday. So if you want to sign up for that, you can get the whole thing in your inbox. Otherwise, you have to come back every day. So we'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Be good to yourself. Be good to one another. And please wear a mask. And blessed be.